Guys, my name is Stephanie. I am a pre-PA student who was actually just accepted into PA school last year in 2017, actually just recently last month, and I'm very excited. Welcome to my channel. I am making these videos in order to help individuals like myself who were in a similar situation as myself to get accepted into PA school, give them any tips, any advice, any guidelines, what to do, what not to do in order to get accepted. I know if I would have known this before I applied to PA school, before I got accepted into PA school, my application would have been a lot stronger. This is my second year applying to PA school. I did apply last year and I wasn't accepted, unfortunately, but thankfully I was accepted this year. So, keep your hope up and just keep applying to PA school because you will get in. Now, in my videos, I want to give you some tips, some personal experience of mine, what I did to get into PA school. So if you're interested, please subscribe. If you have any questions, make sure to comment below or just send me an email and I will respond as soon as I can. Like I said, I want to help other individuals like myself get into PA school, or just students get into PA school to learn, or if they just want to learn a little bit more about the profession, about what is PA, what is a physician assistant, what do they do, what do I have to do to get into PA school, how many volunteer hours do I have to do, what jobs can count, etc. So I just want to be able to help you with that. So primarily, a little bit more about myself. I am first generation, so I am the first individual to attend school from my family and the first individual to graduate college from my family. My parents immigrated from the country of Mexico, so they know English. My mother knows a little bit of English, of Spanish, so I am bilingual since the majority of my family speaks more Spanish than English. I am the eldest of 3 children, so I have 2 younger sisters. My other sister also is pursuing to become a physician assistant, so I am also wanting to help her to become a physician assistant. So in regards to this program here, I'll probably make another YouTube video later if requested about basically my past experience of my undergraduate years, what I did, etc., why I chose to become a physician assistant. But this video, I just want to make it short and actually talk about a program that I highly recommend to individuals who are pursuing anything in the medical field or even in the dentistry field, whether it's physician assistant, become a doctor, medicine, even becoming an optometrist, psychiatrist, pharmacist, etc. Anything, I really recommend this program because I did attend it and I thought it was a fantastic program, and anybody I can talk to, I always tell them to apply this program because it's fantastic. So what program am I talking about? The program is called SHPEP, which stands for Summer Health Professions Education Program. I attended it in the year of 2014, so about 4 years ago, and back then it was called SMDEP, which stood for Summer Medical, Dental, and Educational Program. And back then it was only geared towards medicine and dentistry. So just recently, in 2016, they actually changed it to the SHPEP, which I think is fantastic. So they included a lot more professions than just medicine and dentistry. So I think this is great. So any individuals who want to pursue anything in medicine or anything in dentistry, I highly recommend you applying to this program because it was a fantastic program. So what is SHPEP or SHPEP? So the website is shpep.org. You can go there and they'll give you a little bit more information about what the program is, what the application process is, what sites or what universities throughout this country offer the program. But here's just my personal experience of when I applied, what the program was for me, what the experience was for me. And this was, like I said, back then in 2014. Before becoming a physician assistant, I wanted to become a dentist. I thought I wanted to become a dentist. After shadowing several dentists, I decided the career wasn't for me, and then I decided to pursue physician assistant, and I'm very happy that I did pursue physician assistant. I respect dentists a lot. I really like their job, but I just thought that physician assistant called more for me, and since I have about 5 years of medical experience, I worked alongside PAs for 5 years. I really got to know their job, what they do, how they work with patients, and I just really fell in love with the job. So it's one of the reasons why I applied to PA school. So back then, when I wanted to become a dentist, I was looking for information because I knew a little bit about dentistry, not that much. I had braces for about 6 years of my life, and I probably still need them now. But throughout my experience with braces, I would go to the dentist routinely, whether it was the first time I got braces when I was in Mexico and the second time I got braces in the States. I thought it was something I liked, but I then decided to change my mind. So upon looking for information on what I can do to add more to my application, more experience, more volunteer, I just wanted to get accepted into dental school. And I know how rigorous it was. So the more I added to my application, I thought the more I could get accepted into PA school, and I would be, into dental school, and I would be more of a qualified student to get into dental school. So I came across SMDEP, which is now SHPEP, but back then I came across this website and this program. I believe I came across it in December, and actually the application deadline for the program is February, so this isn't why I'm making this YouTube video. So I came across the program in December. I read what the program was. So basically the program is, back then it was a 6-week program. Several schools or universities throughout the nation offer the program, and you get to choose whatever state or whatever school you want to attend the program at. So in order to apply, you need, I believe it was, back then you needed 2 letters of recommendation, your transcripts, and then you also needed to write a personal statement, basically why you want to attend the program. Back then, I'm not sure what they changed it to this year, but last year, when I applied in 2014, it was why you wanted to attend the program. So I wrote my personal statement. I needed 2 letters of recommendation. It didn't specifically state who. So being that I did work in the emergency room, I was trying to apply as soon as I can. And since I found out so late about the program, which was towards the end of December, almost towards the beginning of January, I was nervous that I wasn't going to get in, because they specifically state and tell you to apply as soon as you can, since sometimes they tend to receive a lot of applicants. So I remember it was one night I was working overnight at the hospital, and I had just found out about the program and I wanted to apply. So I was like, who am I going to ask for a letter of recommendation? I can't email my professor. I wanted to submit it as soon as I can, which I do not recommend at all. Take your time, of course, in applying. But in that time, I got a recommendation letter from one of the doctors I was working with during that shift. I knew the doctor, but I didn't know him that well, so I kind of just took a leap of faith, and I asked him, and he's like, yeah, sure, I'll write you a recommendation letter. So I remember he wrote me a recommendation letter. It was only 2 pages. I believe the first one just asks for your name, and then it asks the individual who's writing you the letter recommendation to check off whether you have great communication skills, etc., whether they recommend you, and then they offer underneath about 4 lines if they want to write a little bit more information about that. And then, of course, after that, they have to input their personal information. So I remember the doctor I worked with just kind of checked it off since it was a little busy, and he just signed it on the bottom and put down his information. So he didn't even fill out the 3 lines or the 4 lines that gave you more information about yourself, or to tell them a little bit more about you. But I still submitted it. I said to myself, I'm going to submit it. If I don't get in, I'll just apply next year. But I did submit it. The second letter of recommendation was from a nurse I worked with in the emergency room. Now, the nurse did complete everything. He did also write me for 4 or 5 sentences to tell me a little bit more about myself and why he recommended me. So I submitted these 2 letters. I also wrote the personal statement. I worked 12-hour shifts, so I remember we had about, I think, 5 hours where it was dead. So during that time, I was just writing it over and over again, the personal statement, and I would show it to the other nurses. They would proofread it and then tell me whether they corrected it or not. And so I finally submitted that. And then, of course, you needed to request transcripts from all your schools, so that may take a little long. So thankfully, I was able to submit my application before the deadline. The deadline was back then in February. I think this year it is. I actually looked it up. It's actually February 15th, 11:59 is when the application closes. So if you want to apply I would just get on that as soon as I can. Get your letters or recommendation letters. Now I believe it's just one letter recommendation letter. It can be from a professor, an employer, I believe, or a doctor, or anybody you work with. And you just need one of those, which is great. And your transcripts, of course, and then your personal statement, which is online when you apply. Now, when applying back then, I remember that you get to choose 3 schools throughout the country that offer the program. And I chose Rutgers University in New Jersey, the UT Health Science Center in Houston, Texas, and the last one I chose was the University of Florida. So after you apply, they notify you in March whether you got accepted or not. So I remember in March, they notified me that I was accepted into 2 out of the 3 schools that I had applied to. I was accepted into UT Health Science Center of Houston and to Rutgers University. I was denied from Florida University, so I was really excited. I decided to choose UT Health Science Center Houston since I am from the state of Texas and I'm from San Antonio, so it was just a few hours to drive up there. But if you wanted to apply to schools out of state, say if I was accepted into the school of Florida, or I decided to choose the school of New Jersey, they do give you travel reimbursement. So they will pay you back for any airplanes or planes or anything, train or whatever you may take to the school. They'll reimburse you for that, which I thought was fantastic. So this program is just great. There's so many things I can talk about it. I'll provide photos towards the end of the video about my experience, about what I did, just so you can see. And if you have any questions, just feel free to comment below or send me an email. Like I said, I'm more than happy to answer, and I'll answer as soon as I can. So in regards to the program, I started towards the end of May, I remember, and it ended towards the beginning of July. For the program, it was a 6-week program. So we stayed in the dormitories at Rice University, which is about probably 2 miles or less than away from the UT Health Science Center of Houston, the medical school program. So we would just walk from the university to the medical center, which wasn't that far away. So it was great. I really enjoyed it. A little bit more information about the program is that they do offer, of course, aside from the travel reimbursement, they give you housing. So you don't have to pay for housing. They also give you food allowance, which was great. And they also even give you just a daily allowance. You would get, I believe it was a stipend every 2 weeks that you were there. So I got a total of 3 stipends the entire time I was there, which was fantastic. So it's a free program, like I said, and then on top of that, you still get money. So, and you get food, and you get to live in the dorm. So it was just great, and like I said, I highly recommend it. So when I first arrived there, they placed you in the dorms according to the last name. So in my dorm was composed of 2 rooms, and in each room they would put 2 students. So my entire dorm was 4 students, and then you had 1 restroom, of course, for the 4 students. Now, I got lucky because the individuals who stayed in my dorm apparently did not make it to the program, or there was something that was wrong, that it was only 2 of us in the dorm. So while every other dorm had 4 individuals, my dorm only had 2 students, which I thought it was awesome because I got to get really close to my friend who was the other student who was in the room with me. So I thought it was great. And we had, of course, the entire dorm to ourselves. So in regards to what the program was like, it was a 6-week program. You would attend from Monday through Friday. We would wake up at 8 a.m. and then we would get out at 4 or 5. It just depended on what time the lecture ended or just what time the day ended. And this was Monday through Friday. On the weekends, we could do whatever we wanted, whether it was we would go visit the museums that the medical or just Houston has. We would visit. I remember they had this science museum that we went to go visit on one of the weekends, the Holocaust Museum in Houston. So the weekends were just up to you. There were free weekends that you could do whatever you want. So this is what we did. And there was a bus there in the medical center, so I believe from the 80 students that were accepted, only I think 2 brought their cars. Everybody else didn't have cars, so most of us relied on either buses, which was the cheapest way, or taxis to travel back and forth, or on the weekends, since during the week we didn't really go out or anything like that, because we would get back at 5 and then just wake up the next morning at 8 a.m. It was a little tough, unless it was Friday, of course, but besides that, no, during the week we just stayed in the dorms and just visited other students or hung out. So yeah, it was great. So another thing that I would say is that the program does accept 80 students. Specifically, what is the program looking for? They look for individuals who are first generation, like myself, first generation students to attend school or attend college. Individuals who come from underserved areas or who just want to serve underserved areas, communities. So this is the type of students that they look for. The GPA, I believe, cutoff they have is a 2.5 GPA, so you have to have a 2.5 GPA in order to apply, which isn't that bad. I think mine was like a 3.4 back then, I don't remember. But yeah, it was a great program. Now, what we did is that the first 4 weeks, it was just, the majority of it was lecture. So you are in anatomy and physiology, you are taught biology, organic chemistry 1 and 2, and physics also, and some math. I believe it was statistics. So you go Monday through Friday, and you have professors that will come and they'll teach you, and then towards the end of the entire program, they'll give you an exam and they'll see what you learned. And of course, they'll give you awards if you scored the top out of the 80 students. My friend who stayed in the room with me, she studied so hard. Maybe I should have studied a little bit more, but she studied so hard. She got top for math and several other topics, sciences, so she did a really good job. Also, as for free food, we would also get to eat at the Memorial Hospital, Herman Hospital, which is located next to the UT Health Science Center. They would give us vouchers. I think it was $10 for the vouchers, and they would give us vouchers, for the 5 days or 7 days, I don't remember. But they would give you vouchers, and you can get as much food as you wanted for $10. Of course, if it went over, you had to pay out of pocket. But usually with the $10, I was able to get a lot of food. So it was great. It was good. But also, towards the end of the lecture, you would also have shadowing experiences. So there was a time where you chose whether you were dentistry or you were medicine, depending on what you checked off when you applied. You got to choose what type of field within dentistry or specialty within the dentistry or medicine you wanted to shadow. So I chose, I believe it was oral surgery and just orthodontics. So I was able to shadow residents who were oral surgeons and residents within the orthodontics. So I thought it was great. And then of course, individuals who decided to pursue medicine were able to shadow doctors in whatever field they wanted to. I know my friend shadowed a doctor in the emergency room field, etc. So I thought this was also great. So aside from lecture, you also get to shadow, dentists or doctors, whatever you choose. So I thought this was really great, especially if you don't know anything about the profession like myself. I didn't know anything about the profession. So this program helped me learn a little bit more about the profession. Also, I liked it because you were also taught by some of the chairs of the program. So we were taught by the medical director who sits on the admission committee for the medical program at UT Health Science Center. And also we were taught and we got to know really well also the individual who sat at the time on the admissions committee for the dental school. So of course, if you want to get into dental school or medical field, you make really good friends, or you can make really good individuals to know who are in the program. For example, the dentist who is on the admissions committee. So you make really good connections. I apologize, that's what I was trying to say. So of course, I really recommend this. And of course, also be careful because they are watching you the entire time. I don't mean it in a mean way, but just, don't do anything bad or dumb. I know some students that were in the program, instead of this being a positive experience for their profession, it was a negative experience for the profession, unfortunately, because they did not behave well. But yeah. But overall, this program was great. I really enjoyed attending it. For one of the highlights, I would say, was the anatomy and physiology class. We actually got to do gross anatomy, which was fantastic because we attended cadaver labs, and that's where we did most of our gross anatomy, was in the cadaver labs. So we worked alongside the medical students, and we were able to look at real organs, real human bodies, individuals who donated their bodies to science. And I thought this was fantastic. It was a great memory. And of course, individuals you meet, the other students you meet in the program, they become lifelong friends. It's been 4 years, and I'm still in communication with the majority of them. Of course, the majority of them, they've already been accepted into dental school or medical school. So I think it's great. I really recommend this program. And then another thing, of course, is that you have dental students that you get to work with, medical students also. So I would ask the dental students I work with, hey, what information or what advice do you give me since I want to get into dental school? What should I do? And they would offer, write your personal statement. We'll look it over, and we would write our personal statement. They would look it over, and they would give us their advice. So I think this was also great. And then they would try to create seminars, at least for the dental students. I remember they created one where we did drill on teeth, which I will provide photos at the end. And I thought this was a great experience because you actually feel like you're a dental student. So, fantastic program. So overall, like I said, I really recommend this program to anybody who wants to pursue medicine. Like I said, nowadays, they changed the program in 2016 to SHPEP. So it's more about individuals who just want to pursue nursing, physician assistant. It doesn't have to be doctor or dentist. They widened it more, so I think this is fantastic. And like I said, it's a 6-week program. It's during the summer. You get to choose whatever school you want to attend to. They will give you and reimburse you with travel if you have to travel. So don't be scared of traveling to another state, because the UT Health Science Center Houston, where I went, I know I had a friend that he was from Florida, and I had some other individuals who were from Nebraska. So they were from all over the nation. They weren't only from Texas. So if you want to apply to another school out of state, do it. I decided to stay in Texas because I wanted to make connections. So one of the reasons why I applied to UT Health Science Center of Houston. So like I said, great program, 6-week program. It's during the summer. Apply before February 15th at 11:59 is when the application closes. They accept around 80 students. I think it's 80 students, and all you need is a 2.5 GPA. You have to send in your transcripts. You just need one letter of recommendation, and you also need your personal statement. If you need help with your personal statement, like I said, feel free to send it to me. I will gladly help you because I love writing. I think that's one of my strengths is writing. But yeah, like I said, I highly recommend this program. It's called SHPEP, so Summer Health Professions Education Program. I have to keep getting used to that since it's not SMDEP anymore, but it's shpep.org. Go apply now, especially if you want to become interested in medicine. It's going to look really good in your application, and I learned so much from this program. I learned about what the schools are looking for, what to do so I can better my application, because you get to speak to the individuals who sit on the chair, on the committee for admissions. So you get to talk to them and see how they think. What type of questions they ask, where are they looking in the applicant, where are they looking in their applicant when interviewing them, what not to do, etc. So what type of questions do they ask in the interviews? So I think it's a great program. You get to have more experience in the medical field, dental field, and you get to work alongside other students, which you make really good relationships with and friends with, because like I said, to this day, I'm still in communication with them, and it's been 4 years, and we're really close, and they've been either accepted into medical school or dental school. So, and I know this is one of their highlights. So I really recommend this program. Like I said, shpep.org. apply now. Like I said, it's a fantastic program. You will not regret it. So many pluses. You get your housing paid for. You get your housing paid for. You get your lunch paid for. You'll make good friends. It's just a good experience. And then, of course, you also get your allowance bi-weekly. So fantastic program. I loved it. And then I'll add more photos towards the end of the video, just so you know, or you can see for yourself what the program was for me, what I did, etc. And if you have any questions, like I said, feel free to comment. Hopefully I will be making more videos about my experience of getting into PA school. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to comment. Please like this video, and hopefully I'll continue to make more videos. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye. At SMDEP. This is the first day of the program, and this is a medical school. Here is the dental school, so the entrance, some photos with some friends that I took, the sign of School of Dentistry. This is the School of Dentistry still. And the next one is just a picture of the road to the medical schools. Here are some photos of the university, so the UT Health. This is a college where I stayed at. And this is just some of the gross anatomy that we did in anatomy and physiology. Some pictures of the medical school at UT Health. This is pictures of the Weiss College and Rice University. So this is how we transported throughout my stay there, was through taking buses, and there was also a train in downtown, which is about a mile away. We did events as shown here on the weekends. We barbecued. And then also, since I was dentistry, these are some of the things we did that the dental students allowed us to do. So we worked on teeth, we drilled, and we were able to use also dental equipment as shown here. So here are just a few more photos where we drilled on teeth. This is some of the students that did this. We also did some other activities as shown here. Some of these plates is what we wanted to do, what we worried about. And these are just some dummies that actual dentist students actually do work on. So it was pretty fun to be able to work on the teeth of these dummies. This is myself sitting in the chair and drilling, and then just some photos of myself with some friends. So aside from doing things that were dentistry involved, we also did things that were involved with medical students, individuals who wanted to pursue medicine, such as intubating dummies, as shown here, where we learned how to intubate. It was very fun. It was fantastic. So overall, really, really advise anybody who wants to pursue medicine or dentistry to apply to this program. It's a fantastic program, and you will not regret it.